In this video, I'm going to break down step by step everything you need to do to qualify for future rounds of the Aptos airdrop. Now, in terms of what the actual opportunity is, Aptos has allocated 51.02% of their token supply to the community, and they did a first round of the airdrop, but that first round of the airdrop was only 3%, which means that the vast majority of these tokens are yet to be airdropped, and you still have an opportunity to earn a share of this. Now, in terms of what Aptos actually is, it's a new layer 1 blockchain, well, relatively new, and they have a lot of different use cases with great buzzwords that could make token price go up, including AI, gaming, and others. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really care all that much about the token or the ecosystem itself. I am just hunting airdrop opportunities. And in this case, I do think that there is a solid opportunity given the valuation of the coin and also the fact that a huge amount of the token supply has yet to be allocated. And in terms of how we get our portion of the pie, there's basically a simple set of tasks to complete, and I'm gonna walk you through exactly what you need to do. Now, the first thing is to get an Aptos wallet installed on your browser if you don't have one already. Now, there's a few options for wallets, but I recommend using the Pontum wallet because later on when we go to Galxe to try and verify some tests and quests that we're doing, you're going to need to have the Pontum wallet. Well, specifically not the Martian wallet. So the Pontum wallet is a browser extension and you can add it to your browser. Let's go ahead and add it here. And the setup for this is the same as for pretty much any other wallet. You saved your seed phrase, create a password, and then you're good to go. So I'm just gonna skip ahead until I've got it all set up. Now, once you have the wallet set up, you should pin it to your browser just so that you have easier access to it. And then you'll be able to open it up here as well. All right, so that is step one. Now, step two, in order to actually qualify for this, we're going to need to get some funds over to the Aptos network. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can buy the Aptos token on an exchange like Binance and then transfer it to your wallet, or you can bridge it over from a different network. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. And it's actually gonna help us qualify for multiple airdrops. So I'm gonna be using this bridge right here, Liquid Swap. And this is a great one actually because it interacts with Layer 0 and then also Aptos. So I'm increasing the airdrop surface area here, potentially qualifying for 2 airdrops with this transaction. Now, the first step is to connect our wallets. And since I'm sending assets from Ethereum, I have some USDT on the Binance chain. I need to connect my MetaMask wallet here. Then I also need to select my Aptos wallet. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect my new Pontum wallet and hit continue. So the next step is to just select which network and token I'm sending. It's already automatically detected that I'm on the Binance chain and I have some USDT. So I'm gonna select Max here. I have about $530. You don't have to do this with as much capital as I'm using here. You can definitely do it with a lot less. But on the other hand, the more that you use, you generate higher transaction volume, and that could help you in the long run. Now, on the other end, I'm going to be receiving basically the full amount of USDT that I'm sending. But you'll notice here, there's an option to get the gas on the destination. So since I just created this new wallet here, I have no Aptos tokens in it, and we need the APT token to pay for transaction fees on the Aptos network. So I'm actually gonna go down here and then select max. I'm going to try and get as much APT as I can. So the maximum amount is 0.1, and that's going to allow me to actually swap some of this USDT and then actually start interacting with the Aptos network. So make sure that you select the gas fee on destination. Otherwise, you're going to need to find another way to get some APT tokens onto the Aptos network. But we can do it all in one transfer here, so let's go ahead and approve this transaction. I have to first confirm that I want to allow the spending of my 530 USDT, so let's approve that. And then the next transaction is to send the tokens. And the total cost for this bridge, not too bad, $2.66. And this also triggers an interaction with Layer 0, which we love. Now, this might take a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, so we'll come back once it's arrived on the other end. Okay, and that transaction went through. As you can see, I have 530 USDT and 0.1 APT, which should be just enough to get us going. Now, the next step is to swap some of that USDT into the Aptos token so that we have more than enough to actually pay for all the stuff we want to do. So I'm gonna start by just swapping $30 into APT, which should give us more than enough to actually cover transactions because the gas fees here are super cheap. It's nothing like Ethereum. So let's go ahead and confirm this swap in the wallet. And if we open up that transaction hash for that swap I just did, you can see the gas fee was 0.000032 Aptos, so literally less than 1 penny. And by the way, this application here is still Liquid Swap. Previously we were using the bridge feature, but now we're on the swaps feature. Now that we've done a swap on Liquid Swap, I actually want to go over to another swaps application, Umi, and I'm going to do another swap here. And in this case, actually, I am going to transfer a little bit more USDT into Aptos because we're going to stake some of it and then provide liquidity with the APT token. I just wanted to split it up, hit a couple of different swap applications, and also each transaction that we're doing here is increasing our volume on the Aptos network. So now let's say I'm going to swap 100 USDT into 7.5 Aptos. You can see that this is a pretty solid price and that the slippage amount is very minimal. So let's just go ahead and confirm this transaction. Next, we're going over to Amnis Finance, and here we're going to stake some of that Aptos that we just swapped into. So let's go ahead and stake 5 APT tokens. This is very similar to liquid staked Ethereum or liquid staked Solana. So we're still going to have this token in our wallet and we're going to be able to do other stuff with it. The staking APR for this, by the way, is just over 11%. And sorry, actually, just to clarify, you do want to be getting the ST-APT, and that is by minting it and staking it. If you mint AM-APT only, then it's not actually staked. So make sure that you hit mint and stake and then confirm this transaction in the wallet. All right, so we have successfully staked some Aptos, and now if I open up my wallet, I can see the balance of the tokens that I have, and this ST-APT is that liquid staked Aptos coin. So now that we have these 3 coins, there's a bunch of stuff that we can do. And the next step is I'm actually gonna go over to Aries Market. This is a DeFi platform on Aptos where you can lend and borrow assets. They also have swaps and bridging enabled here though. So if you wanted to do some of the swaps that I just went through, you could do that here. And you can actually swap into the staked Aptos token. You don't have to actually mint it. So I have 400 USDT in my wallet, and I'm going to supply some of it to the platform here. This is going to earn me a 20% APY, and I can borrow against it. So let's click here. And the first time you log into this platform, you do need to create a profile by signing a transaction and paying a small gas fee. And now that I'm in, I'm going to deposit 100 USDT to the platform. So let's just click here and then confirm this transaction. Great. And so now I have borrowing power of $80. It's going to allow me to borrow against 80% of the total value of my collateral. And if I borrow a stable coin, it's a pretty safe borrow unless there's some sort of black swan event. So let's say I'm going to borrow 25 USDC. I'll just hit borrow and then confirm this transaction in my wallet. So now I can click here on my dashboard and I can see all of my positions. I've lent $100 and borrowed $25 against that. And by the way, as I'm walking through this, let me just briefly talk about overall strategy. So now that we've set up a wallet and bridged to Aptos, the goal here is to just generate transaction count and transaction volume over time. And the more different applications that you interact with, probably the better. The more distinct weeks and months that you interact on, also going to be better. And the more capital that you have when you do these transactions, the better off you'll be as well. So by swapping $100 or depositing $100 into a DeFi platform, that's going to be better for the airdrop than if I was doing this with, say, $10. All right, next, let's actually go back over to Liquid Swap because they have liquidity pools under the Earn tab, and we can make a deposit to one of these liquidity pools. So I have a bunch of these different assets here, and I can now make a deposit into basically any one of these. Now, if I do Aptos and staked Aptos or USDC and USDT, there isn't going to be an APY for that because these assets basically don't diverge in price, and so there's no incentive structure for facilitating swaps with them. But if I provide liquidity for a stable coin and the Aptos token, then I can earn an APY for that. So let's say I'll provide some liquidity to the USDC Aptos pool. I have 25 USDC, so I'm just going to select the full amount, and then I have to provide an equal amount of each. Now, this is a managed liquidity pool, so you don't actually have to custom set the range. The APR for depositing into it is 18.27%. But if the price of Aptos goes up really fast, then it's possible that I could experience something called impermanent loss. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that here, but you can do a quick Google search and just make sure that you are comfortable providing liquidity to non-correlated assets like a stable coin and a volatile cryptocurrency. Anyways, I'm gonna make a deposit into this LP and confirm the transaction in my wallet. So that went through, and now I have 52.74 LP tokens, which represent my share of the liquidity pool. And by the way, when you're doing stuff like this, I definitely would recommend keeping track of it, writing it down somewhere, or keeping some sort of spreadsheet, because otherwise it could be very easy to forget where you've actually lent out and sent all your different assets. All right, next up, we're going to purchase a .apt or an Aptos domain name. I could have done this actually right at the beginning, once I swapped into some additional Aptos. But let's go ahead and connect the wallet here. Now, as with any other domain service, you're probably not going to be able to get a super rare and valuable name. Also, shorter domain names, so 3 or 4 digits, are going to be more expensive. So if I wanted to get cove.apt, that's going to cost me 10 APT tokens, which is $75. And surprise, surprise, someone else has already registered cryptocove.apt, but let's see if I can get CryptoCove with a C. Yes, this is still available, and the regular cost for a 5+ digit domain name is only 1 APT, so $7 for 1 year. Let's go ahead and register this, and then it's going to link it to our wallet, and this is going to be our official domain name. Cool, cryptocove.apt was registered, and actually if I click here and go to subdomains, I can actually add different subdomains basically for free, just a small mint fee. So I could add the subdomain the.cryptocove.apt, click add subdomain, and then sign this transaction in my wallet. Cost me 1 penny. And now I have a subdomain that expires in a year as well. So I would recommend registering at least 1 domain, and then you might as well just create 1 subdomain, because who knows, it's another type of transaction and it could help you out. Now, aside from that, Aptos also has NFTs. There is the Topaz marketplace and also Wapal. So I definitely recommend checking it out, and you might as well buy and sell an NFT. Also, Wapal is going to have an airdrop, and also a lot of the other protocols and apps on the Aptos network that I've been talking about don't have tokens. So it's possible there could be Aptos ecosystem drops as well. So let's just find an NFT with a super low floor price like this, and let's just buy one of these NFTs just so that we can tick the box. The process for buying and selling an NFT on Aptos is very similar to that of Solana or Ethereum. You just confirm a transaction in your wallet, and then the NFT is yours. And let's also get one on the Topaz exchange just so that we can tick that box as well. I'm gonna buy an AP Devil. The floor price is 0.03 Aptos. So let's just go ahead and buy the floor NFT right here and confirm this transaction. So now if I go to my profile, I can see that NFT that I just purchased. And if I click here on token V2, there's different NFT token contracts. I can see the other 3 NFTs. So my domain name, my subdomain name, and that NFT that I purchased on Wapal. Now you can also mint NFTs. You can find them on launch pads. Some of them are a little bit expensive, but that's a different type of transaction as well. So I recommend messing around a little bit with NFTs. You don't have to spend that much money to hit a bunch of different types of transactions. Now, another thing that we haven't done is there's a couple of different Aptos staking apps. This one, Ditto, we haven't visited yet. You can stake AP tokens here as well. So let's say I'm gonna stake 1 APT token. I'll just confirm the transaction here. And again, I'm basically just trying to show you sort of a cross section of the Aptos ecosystem. I'm not gonna be able to talk about every single different application, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple, and you'll be able to go through and do all this stuff that I've shown you and then take it to the next level. And actually, one thing I'll say is that here on Aries Market, where I did provide some assets and took out a loan, they actually do automatically detect different assets, including LP tokens and tokens in the wallet, not just what I've deposited and borrowed from the platform. So when I was saying before that you should write things down, I still think you should do that because these systems are never perfect. But Aries Market does have a decent portfolio tracker that can help you make sure that you're actually not losing track of where your assets are within this ecosystem. And speaking of Aptos applications within the ecosystem, I'll leave a link to this down below, but they've got here on the Aptos website a list of all the different apps. So I definitely won't be able to go through all of them, but you can do tons of different stuff on here. And then one final thing that I wanted to mention, because it's a bit different, is that Aptos has their own version of Safe, like Gnosis Safe, where you can set up a multi-sig wallet to secure your assets, but also, who knows, it could be useful as an airdrop qualifier. Now, once you connect your wallet, the way that it works is you just hit here on the plus, name your account, and then select which wallet addresses you want to manage it. And if you only have the one wallet at this moment, you can actually open up your Pontum wallet, click here under accounts, and then click here under wallet 1, add account, and it's just going to add another generic wallet address, and then you can copy that address and use that as your second wallet for signing on the multi-sig. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then the confirmation threshold, I'm going to say, is 2 of 2. So both of the wallets that I've created need to sign transactions from the safe in order to actually send out those transactions. Agree to the terms and conditions and then hit create account. And then I'll sign the transaction here. So this is going to cost me $1.50 to set up this safe. Great. So that was created. Now, what I can do is click receive, and then copy this address here. I'm going to go into my Pontum wallet and I'm going to hit send. I'm going to paste in the address to my safe, and then I'm going to send a small amount of APT, let's say 0.25 APT, to my new safe. Hit next and then confirm this transaction. And almost immediately it shows up here. So now I have a balance in my Krypto Cove safe. And if I want to send it out, this is how it works. I hit send and then I'm going to paste in the wallet address. So let's try and send it to the other wallet that I just created. I'll copy the address to this other wallet, paste it in here, and then send the full amount. Then when I hit propose, I need to sign this message with both of the wallets on this safe. So let's go ahead and hit propose. So first I'm going to sign it from my original wallet in Pontum. Then I need to approve this transaction with my other wallet. And in order to do that, you can open up the Pontum browser extension up here where there's a little globe symbol. Click that, and then you're going to want to hit connect. You're going to want to make sure that it's the second wallet that's connected. So now that I've logged in with my secondary signing wallet, I just have to accept this right here. And now I have access to sign this transaction here. So I'm going to hit approve and then sign the transaction in my wallet. So I actually need some more gas fees to do this. And yes, by the way, for this tutorial, I fully acknowledge that I am burning money and I'm not necessarily being super capital efficient, especially since I only deposited a couple of dollars into this safe. Probably should have deposited a larger amount so that I'm burning less in terms of the total value. And then I'm actually generating higher transaction volume. So that was a bit of an oversight, but let's go ahead and approve this transaction here just to finish out the process. So now that the vote goes through, 2 people have approved, I finally just hit execute approval. And then this is the final transaction here. All right, so now I created the safe, funded it, and then sent it out using the multi-sig feature. And in my secondary wallet, now I have some of that APT. It looks like those gas fees, by the way, were overestimated because I definitely didn't spend as much as they said I was going to on those gas fees. So I think that is a pretty good overview. There's a bunch of other applications that you can use, different apps to swap, different apps to stake and to do DeFi stuff, but I'm not going to go through every single one. This right here, the Aptos ecosystem page, is going to help you out if you want to explore more on your own. And then aside from that, obviously what you need to do is just generate more transactions in more different time periods and higher value and volume as well. The final thing I'll say is that sometimes Aptos has quests on Galxe, and currently they actually have one on until March 26th, where you can earn an oat and some points for doing a couple of very simple tasks. So if you haven't done these yet, I definitely recommend looking into them. You never know if these quests could actually have an input into future rounds of the airdrop. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully you found this little walkthrough helpful. This will definitely help you get started in the Aptos ecosystem. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.